Hello and welcome to Big Red Journeys. I'm your host Big Red, and on today's journey we're going to be checking out something really fun here. We're at the Living Coast Discovery Center here in Chula Vista, California. Going to go inside and have a great time. There's an aquarium there. We get to see some reptiles. There's a shark and ray exhibit on the backside, and do a little bit of hiking and little trails here. It's a fun time. It's a small little nature center that's here in Chula Vista, right off the 5 freeway, just a few minutes south of downtown San Diego. But this is something I grew up with. It's been a few years since I've been here, so I'm excited to come back here. But this is really fun and good for the whole family. So if you care to follow me on this journey, let's go. Just got off the shuttle. The shuttle pretty much does a loop from here. You can see this is where the shuttle dropped us off right over here behind me to where it picked us up in the parking lot over there. Usually about every, bus driver said about like every 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long they have to load up or unload people. The shuttle is ADA compatible, so that those who need them can obviously enter in on the shuttle, no problem whatsoever. But now that we're here, let's go inside to get our admission. We do have a few things to do, including some animal presentations. One in particular, I believe, starts in about 5-10 minutes, and that is about an eagle presentation. They're going to talk about the bald eagle and the golden eagle that they have here at the Discovery Center. So let's go. Look inside the aquarium over here. Restrooms, they do also have some restrooms here for you to use. Nice, and this obviously is nice and chill AC, good on a hot summer day. They do also have a reusable water bottle filling station for filtered water. And they do have a gift shop, which of course we will go through at the end of the day, as we usually always do. Here are the prices for admission and membership if you are interested. Admissions for adults, $20 all the way down. Membership, $49 for individuals. There's a price breakdown for you. There also is some discounts as well too for things like active duty, retired, military, first responders, and so forth. And I'll put a price breakdown for you a little bit later. And some snacks and beverages, should you need some. $2 looks like for snacks, $2 to $3 depending on the beverage as well too. Go through the front over here. Now you're gonna have to excuse me if at any point in time I do say the Nature Center, because for years, it's been the Living Coast Discovery Center for several years now, but I grew up with this being the Chula Vista Nature Center back when this was ran by the city of Chula Vista. Now it's a nonprofit organization that runs this area, still the same building and on here on the Sweetwater Marsh, but I may mix the two together. That's just force of habit. But right here now, we are in what is called Raptor Row. We have a few beautiful animals next to us right here. Red-tailed hawk. Now, of course, all of the animals that are here are deemed non-releasable into the wild. They're usually brought here because, injury that was caused by a vehicle or pedestrian. Could be the case that they have a disease like blindness or something that caused them that they would not be able to survive in the wild. So being here at the Discovery Center allows them to be an ambassador for their species. And one fun fact about the red-tailed hawk that I've always been known about is everyone always thinks about that big screech, like when there's eagles in movies and TV shows, and there's an eagle high above flying around, right? That screech they hear, that's actually not an eagle screech. It's a red-tailed hawk screech. Yeah. See in the back over here, there's a barn owl. Beautiful barn owl right there. And yeah, they are normally nocturnal. They can be awake during the daytime, but they usually prefer to be during the night because obviously it's easier for them to hunt little rats and rodents and whatnot. A lot of people usually set them up in farm boxes, owl boxes in their farms, because they do really help with pest control in their houses and farm areas. So they actually make, in a way, a good pet. I wouldn't necessarily play with it, but a good pest control pet. We have a little American kestrel here, a really small bird of prey, wingspan of only up to about 2 feet, but he's making himself very vocally known right now. And I think he's probably because his neighbor across the way is a parrot or a couple parrots, and they just keep making noise and noise, so he's probably upset with them. Here we have this pair of Mitri conures. Now these guys in particular, you'll see them, they actually have a deformed beak. They're pretty much missing like the top portion of their beaks, but they're still able to adapt very well, and obviously they can still make plenty of noise, and they love being in front of the camera apparently. And now we're finishing up here, walking through Raptor Row. We'll go check this out a little bit later. But gonna go to Eagle Mesa which is where they're going to have the animal presentation talking about the gold eagle and the bald eagle.
Have their hooked beaks. Believe it or not, their hooked beaks are actually going to be made of keratin, which is the same material as your nails or hair. Now, as you know, our nails and hair do typically grow as never stops growing. It's going to be the same concept for these guys. If you were to place an eagle on one side of a football field and a little strip of newspaper on the other, that eagle would be able to read the newspaper quite well. So, it's pretty amazing. Now their eyes are also going to be a little bit more special because they are going to be more cylindrical shaped.
Today is Chicken Day.
It's also Enrichment Day, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is also Enrichment Day. So a lot of people kind of ask what's the deal with these little plasticky toys. So it's just kind of like the same purpose that if you have like a dog or a cat at home, you might give them like a Kong feeder. Similar idea. Since these guys, they don't necessarily have to hunt for their food anymore, we still want to give them some sort of challenge or a puzzle to solve in order to get to their food, just like the same way hunting would mentally stimulate them. So we give them this just once a week, just to add like a little bit of diversity in their diet. You know, variety is the spice of life. And we'll also rotate their diet throughout the week as well. So Betsy, she'll be getting fish, chicken, quail, rats, and mice. Dorado will get the same thing, except he won't get fish in his rotation. So just terrestrial stuff for him. So this right here is for Dorado or golden eagle, and then this one here is for Betsy or bald eagle. So both of them are just getting chicken today.
Very dangerous for other animals, especially because we are living near a very fragile ecosystem. But yeah, you guys can basically do the same thing. Another way you can also help is
Dorado over there is being a little more pickier. The staff here said that Dorado, he's a little more timid than, he's not really as domesticated. Obviously, these are all technically still wild animals, but Betsy Ross was able to kind of handle her own when the keeper was in here, but Dorado was scared to death of him, or kept his far distance, and it took forever for him to finally feel comfortable enough to grab the food right here. There's some signs up here, some plaques up front, but of course, we do have the two national symbols of the U.S. and of Mexico, with the bald eagle, of course, being the national symbol, our bird that graces even like our presidential seal, coat of arms, currency, and whatnot, and of course the golden eagle, the same eagle that's represented on the flag on top of the cactus with the snake in its mouth. So it's also pretty cool, the little community and the binational relationship here represented with two very beautiful animals. Right next door here we have this beautiful, beautiful hawk, a ferruginous hawk. And yep, we did had to ask how to pronounce it properly, but it comes from the name of a rusty color, and you can see why, because obviously the beautiful rust and coppery colors of its feathers, beautiful. But I think he's a little jealous because he saw them get all the food there and he hasn't had any food yet. But I'm sure he's got some food somewhere around here. I should also make a note here that of all the animals that we're going to be seeing today, except for a couple that are not the case, they are all native or around the area of San Diego, California, Baja California. So every animal that you're going to see here is an animal that you would potentially see if you're hiking or walking or taking a boat and sailing somewhere. Obviously, there are a few that you probably wouldn't see it on the regular, like the bald eagle. Obviously, yes, technically we are in the far stretch area of their domain in which they fly, but usually you see them more in colder regions, Washington, Canada, Alaska, but they have been known to fly all the way down here to Southern California and Mexico proper. So, but for the most part, everyone you see here is something you can see within this region, which is really nice. Very hard to see. I'm going to see if I can zoom as best I can, but he's like tucked in like right there behind the grass, a turkey vulture. So that's going to be the best bet of what he looks like right there. Fun fact about vultures that I absolutely love. There is a vulture that you see sometimes at SeaWorld by the name of Whizzer. And his name is Whizzer because he loves to whiz on his feet. And you'll be thinking, why the heck would he love to whiz or defecate on his feet? Well, it's actually a cooling mechanism that they do. They defecate on their feet in the hot weather, and through evaporation, it pulls some of the heat away from their legs and they cool themselves off. Yeah, it's true. We have a 2-for-1 here, a great horned owl. You can see how they obviously get the name great horned owl because it looks like they have tufts of feathers that look like horns. And he's right over there, enjoying a nice siesta. But then we have a wild snowy egret up there That is a bird that is common to this area. You'll see them in marshlands and wetlands, hunting small fish and amphibians and small reptiles. They use their little spear-like beak to stab at them and catch those little guys. Look at this. We were noticing they actually have some actual real whale bones right here, which are actually common to see in Baja and in the Pacific over here on the beaches. Bleached, obviously sun bleached. But then we actually realized some real fossils of some mollusks. That is pretty cool. A crested caracara up there. Beautiful. Beautiful coloration right over there. Usually found in the areas, grasslands of Central and South America. Here's a red-shouldered hawk, and once you see him, you'll see why he gets that name. Clearly has shoulders of red. Not to be confused with the shoulders of red here. And here we have a western screech owl. And here's actually really good. So here, I want you to see, they have pieces of wood or some sort of like cork board or something behind a bark, right? When I put the camera perfectly lined up, with the feathers and the coloration on it, doesn't it blend in almost perfectly with the wood behind it? It's a smaller of the birds of prey, so obviously a larger bird of prey, even a larger owl, could potentially attack and predate on a western screech owl. So it needs the use of camouflage to really help itself out compared to larger predators. So they have a indoor aviary right over here. It's a walkthrough. Currently it is closed. I believe it's going through some renovations right now. So this area is closed at the moment. Hopefully when you come visit, it will be open. Usually these are like waterfowl, like some ducks, and I see a seagull right over there, and some other like egrets and whatnot are in this area. Birds that you will see in the marshlands here, waterfowl of that sort. There's a couple more animal presentations a little bit later today. There is a one with the sharks and ray in the shark and ray area. There is, of course, the one that has to do with the green sea turtle. Emerald's her name. She has a issue in which she kind of has a buoyancy issue and her back legs don't work anymore. So she's being taken care of here and being a good ambassador for wildlife. And then there is a compost little training thing going on Sundays here at 11:30. We'll see if we can catch that out. But I heard there's a Sonoran desert tortoise that we need to say hi to here. And yes, two Sonoran tortoises here. We got Mr. T and Tank over here, and they clearly are enjoying themselves some nice food, so much so that they have to lay inside their bowls, and they even have their little burrows if they want to cool off in. Desert tortoises do go into caves of sorts like that, little burrows that they dig into to cool themselves off with as well. And you'll see they do have a little plate of water, but most tortoises actually can go up to a year without drinking water. They get most of their moisture via the food that they eat. Leafy greens, fruits, vegetables, things that contain moisture inside of them. They can also do what are called soaking, where essentially they just go into little pool areas and essentially just soak water through their skin, give moisture that way. So tortoises don't really need to actually drink at all. And here is a greater roadrunner. And you can see why they get their name, because he's zooming in and out. He's got the zoomies for sure. Oi! Look at that. Hey, buddy. Doesn't look anything like you see in the cartoon. There are some tables here for you to enjoy some lunch, should you have brought it. But there is a spot here about the burrowing owls, which are some of my favorites. Let's see, is there anybody in this box? No. But they should be, hopefully. Oh, there's one right there. Look at that. There he is. Here's a burrowing owl. They get their name because, yeah, you would guess, they burrow. They have these little specialized burrow holes inside the dirt that they make. And they spend a large portion of their time in there unless they're eating and hunting. Because they are smaller birds, so they need a place to hide and protect themselves. Look at that. So cool, those guys. And sure enough, we saw a chuckwalla by the name of Indy. And chuckwallas are native to this area of the world, so he is definitely one of the locals. How you doing, buddy? So this one in particular is part of Meet the Locals. They have some fun educational activities here to be doing, but I have been told that every so often throughout the year, they will also have some of these activities as well too. So you might be surprised to see when you come and visit. Here in particular, it looks like they got some microscopes that you can see some seed zoomed in. Let's see if I can kind of show you on camera. Oh, okay, look at that. I can kind of show you. Interesting. Okay, that one you can see. Look at that. And you can see how these are dispersed by animals because the way that the seed is designed, all those little fibrous items around them, the seed itself is on the end, but they use those fibers to attach themselves to insects and animals and everything that walk by, and then get dropped later down and pollinate somewhere else. And here we're talking a little bit about some pollinators here, including my favorite of all insects, the bee. Oh, this is cute. Look, it's got a little Velcro on there, so you can kind of, like a bee when they go around getting their pollen stuck on their bodies like that, and then they bring it and pollinate other flowers as they go about. That's cute. Oh, we have a little game here. Pollinator or seed disperser. So let's see here. Oh, well, humans, we don't pollinate, but we do disperse seeds when we eat them. Bees and wasps obviously are a pollinator. Tortoises are a seed disperser. Let's go with the hummingbird is a pollinator. Hummingbirds will go. Flies, small mammal. Some of these can actually be crossed over between pollinator and seed dispenser, but we'll leave it as that. Like this bat, for example, they do pollinate because some of them do lick the nectar off of flowers, get the pollen, but then they also eat the seeds off of fruits. And there we go. Well, you know me, I do enjoy a good little scavenger. They have one here called a Pollinator Palooza. No prize involved, but you see things like how many, when you're out and about through the living coast, how many of these do you get to see? We've got hummingbirds, butterflies, snails. I've already seen quite a few of them on my walks here. Different types of flowers, different types of seed dispersers as well too. Okay, pretty cool. I did also see this one thing here, promoting trail to bay. So if you are someone who enjoys the outdoors and some hiking, they got this thing where if you attend 3 hikes and a cleanup with them, you get a really cool prize pack, a hiker's pack, backpack, and some other essentials and fun stuff. Really cool. There's the QR code there if you want to scan it and get some more information. We're going to be walking over to the compost area here. Quickly walking by, we'll check out a little bit later, but that is where the shark and ray experience is. Mainly they're going to have some rays from the area, stingrays, bad rays, and then sharks are going to be things like horn sharks, swell sharks, leopard sharks, sharks that you're going to see out here in California, the waters of the Pacific. A lot of the outside portion right now. The aquarium proper is on the inside where you get the tickets. The whole area, honestly, you could do, it's not an all-day event. You can certainly make it all day if you want, but really, you know, an hour to 2 is about the right amount of time, maybe 3 if you include a couple of the animal presentations and interactions and whatnot, but completely up to you how long you do. I enjoy this place. I've been here many times, and we're pretty much going to do a little bit of everything here. We're, like I said, we're doing the composting portion of it. I've never done composting, and we're going to go and do some composting right now. Walking our way over to the compost demonstration garden, where every Sunday they have compost workshops. You can actually be certified on how to construct your own compost heap. And I think it's right over here with the big old sign, right? You see all the different compost bins that they have here. I did read a fact somewhere that about 40% of all the waste that humans make is actually food waste. So, you know, a way to properly dispose of that, minimize the waste, create resources, is compost. And you can get yourself some bins like this, throw your food scraps and whatnot, have little creatures just like this. This is who do all the heavy lifting. Worms, flies, maggots, larvae, bugs of sorts, bacteria and fungus. They're the ones that break down the food waste.
We're breaking down all this food waste and we're turning it into something nutritious for gardens, something nutritious for flowers and trees and things like that, because all of those nutrients are breaking down. But it's not just about what is the compost, but it's also about the why. One new law, or a recent law that we've had in Chula Vista, is mandating the use of green waste bins, those food waste bins, and those little blue kitchen caddies that you might see right behind you. So just mandating the use of those. When food ends up in the landfill, it's put in an anaerobic process. So that means there's no airflow. There's nothing there to break down that waste. So because of that, that creates a lot of methane that goes eventually up into the air. That's not good for our environment. That's not good for our climate. That's not good for us. So a better way to get rid of that food waste without, encouraging methane or having methane is through composting, because composting is aerobic. Based on the different method that you use for composting, you're going to have a different way to encourage airflow, which prevents methane from getting into the air and methane from being released in that process.
And that was just a small sampling of what the demonstration is, the workshop was. Again, that is something they do every Sunday. So if you're just interested and want to know more, I actually learned quite a bit. I didn't realize about the different types of compost that they have. I thought compost was compost. So learn a little bit, which is nice. And again, it's every Sunday that they have here, completely free for you to check out. But they do have courses that you can actually sign up to become, I don't know if the term is correctly certified, but actually, learn how to properly do your own compost at home, which is really cool. Right, this is the aquarium that we're walking through. We're going to cut through right now and just go towards the front, which is where you would normally be greeted with the Turtle Lagoon, where Emerald's at. Not Legacy the chef, Emerald like the gem. And she is a beautiful, beautiful sea turtle that unfortunately has an issue with her floating. So we're going to go say hi to her real quick. So once you're in the front right here, that is going to be the main entrance through the doors. To the right is the gift shop and ticket for admissions. But to the left is Turtle Lagoon, where has Emerald. Very large turtle up in the front. She's not that big, unfortunately. She is a Northern Atlantic green sea turtle. She's right over there in the back. Now she does, if you can see, her shell is a little bit curved. Unfortunately, she does have a little bit of a disability there. Her back flippers do not work properly, so she tends to float. Her front flippers were perfectly fine. So obviously it's the type of case where in the wild she wouldn't be surviving too long. But here she can live a long, healthy life as an ambassador for her kind. Yeah, she was rescued off the Florida Keys after having been hit by a boat. Her injury left her back flipper semi-paralyzed, and she is unable to release excess air from her body, causing her to float. So she came here in October of 2022. And they help her with her buoyancy issues. Yeah, there she is. She's floating right there. She knows there's a private little VIP tour here that happens. So every day, actually, for $75, you can actually get up to a group of 6 people, and you can do a special interaction with the turtles. With the turtle here, she's having a good time. You can actually feed her. I think they have some lettuce they can feed her. Obviously there's a keeper that's giving you some background information, some VIP behind the scenes tour. You get to scrub her. They got brushes right over there that you can interact with her, give her some enrichment for about 15 minutes. And she knows she's about to get some treats or some love because she's hanging around them. Look at that. So again, that was the private animal encounter that you can get with Emerald, the sea turtle. $75 for up to 6 people. Does not include admission, so you still need your admission to the Discovery Center. But then it's on the first come first served basis, or you can obviously call to make a reservation. They usually have 2 of them. There was the 12 o'clock, which is the one we just saw, and there is a 2 o'clock one. $75 up to 6 people. So if you have a family of 6, that sounds like a great deal. Or if you have friends and family, you split it up 6 ways, for a little bit over, what is that, $12 and some change. I would do that in a heartbeat, getting to feed a sea turtle for that much money. It's only the 2 of us right now. For $75 is a little rich for my blood at the moment, but that was a pretty cool interaction. It's about 15 minutes, give or take. So, but now we're going to go into the actual aquarium of the Living Coast Discovery Center. Up here at the beginning, we do have a California scorpion fish. You can get a good view of them right over there. These fish are venomous, not poisonous, because poison would mean you have to ingest it, but venomous because they do have some venomous spines on the top right over there for protection. But usually the most they'll do, they're not fatal to humans, but they would really cause some really nasty burns on the feet. They would hurt a lot. So, surfers and swimmers have been known to unfortunately step on these guys because they do sometimes hang around the tidal zone areas, rocky cliffs and whatnot of the shoreline. So if you see one of these guys, be careful. Have a couple. We have some copper rock fishes over here. You can see how they get the name copper because of the color. We also have some warty sea cucumbers up at the top. There he is, warty because of obviously the warty little projection coming off of his skin. And that's actually used partly for defense, make him look like he's dangerous to attach. I mean, you gotta think about it. Are you going to want to mess with something that looks like it's got some dangerous lethal spikes on it? And we have a California moray eel in the back here. He was taking a siesta earlier, but now he's popping himself out over there. And fun fact I love about eels is that they have a pharyngeal jaw, and what that means, so you see how he's opening his mouth up and down like that? You think he's like breathing? Well, in a way he is. He's forcing water through his gills. But inside what they have is a pharyngeal jaw, and that's the one that they actually use to grab and hold on to their food. So it's a jaw within a jaw, which is actually part of the inspiration that Ridley Scott had for the creation of Alien. So in Aliens, you see how there's like a jaw that comes out from the xenomorph's mouth? He got that inspiration from eels. There is some opali up here as well too. Let's see if we can get a better view. Opali always have that characteristic white dot. There it is, the white dot that's on the side near its dorsal fins. And we have a couple of fish here which have no real affiliation whatsoever to this region of the world, except they are found in the Pacific, more tropical waters, so like Hawaii and Southeast Asia. But this is what I consider the Nemo tank, because we got yellow tangs, we got blue tangs, and of course some clownfish over there. That Maury came out for a better view. He wanted to get a better angle on the camera. You wanted to be on camera, and now you're hiding. This opali really wants to be on camera. Oh, look at this guy. A decorator crab. So-called decorator crab because they will decorate themselves with stuff that they find on the seafloor. Even as much as anemones, seagrasses, different algae, they'll create themselves a little decorative motif on the outside. It's really for protection to help them camouflage, so that when they are really loaded up, obviously he's really kind of clean in comparison. But when they get really decorated out, you put them in a patch of seagrass, you wouldn't even notice them. Just barely popping out of that clamshell is a long jaw mudsucker. Fun fact about these guys is that they can actually live out of water. If they are fully moistened, they can actually live outside of water for about a week, which is amazing. They absorb the oxygen from the air through the veins in its mouth. But it has to be moisture, which is why usually they'll stay around like muddy, very low tidal regions. So they're not really dry land. They can do it in vast emergency if there's like a little bit of a drought, but they need to be in a little moist environment. Looks like 3 horn shark eggs. Horn shark eggs are the ones that have the little twist right there. It's because the mother can actually use that shape to help kind of twist them in like a screw into rocky areas and keep them nicely anchored. Oh, a little bit of a larger tank over here. I see a California spiny lobster. Looks like, don't know if they're male or female. Can't really tell. I'm looking for the swimmerets down below. But pretty large too, regardless. These are, again, when it comes to the lobsters, the larger they are, the more that they mate, and it's actually better for the populations. We also have some rock crab. There's one hidden in the back up there, but there's also one that's a little closer. And then we saw this guy a little bit earlier when they were feeding him, but he really wasn't being as active. But it looks like he's now cleaning up all the shrimp that were fed to him earlier, and he's swimming around to get them. You can see how he's using those little back fins to try to move himself around, but even the little air bubbler is causing him to move more than his fins are. But he's catching those shrimp. He's doing pretty good. I like these particular exhibits in particular because they very immersive, very natural looking, which is really nice. I see some blacksmiths over here. There's a surf perch over there. Oh, there's another lobster right over there. Oh, look at this. Got a little touch pool here we can play around with. Obviously, again, scientific touch, 2 fingers. We do have some bat stars I see around here too, an anemone. Some shells left over of some abalone. Oh, look at that star right there. He's actually got 6. Interesting. Okay. Awesome. Strawberry anemones as well too along this rock. So this is actually a really good map to talk about the area in which we are focusing on here. So we are right over here. This is where we're at. So in the areas of National City, Chula Vista, going all the way stretching to East County, even all the way up to Cuyamaca and Niscan. So we saw these guys earlier here with a feeding frenzy going on earlier, but we have some rainbow trout. And you can see how they get their name. They are trout and rainbow because if you look particularly in the middle portions along their ventral side, you can see the rainbow coloration coming off of their scales. A California king snake right over there. Now, fun fact about this guy, the reason he's called a king snake is not because he has a little crown, but it's because he actually is he has anti-venoms inside of him that actually allows him to essentially hunt larger snakes and those that are also venomous. So you think like a rattlesnake, if it was to bite him, he would dead? No, he actually has an built-in natural anti-venom that helps him not die from the venom of a larger snake that could eventually bite him, and that way he can actually predate on larger snakes. That's why he's called the king snake. Got a few terrariums over here. This one is a Yucatan spiny-tailed iguana, and there he is. He's tucked in right underneath there. Got the western fence lizard, and he's not on the fence today. He wants to be on camera. We have a alligator lizard. I'm sure many of you remember seeing these guys here, capturing a few of them. I remember capturing a few of these guys in blue bellies at my school when in my younger days. Well, and this is the guy we saw earlier today, Indy the chuckwalla. They are a rock-dwelling reptile in Southern California, Arizona, Baja California. So this guy is something we could potentially see here in San Diego. What aquarium is not complete without some sort of jellyfish? In here we have moon jellies, a common jellyfish in aquariums. You can see them just floating around over here. And we have a California skate. He's around. Oh, there he is. Look at that. He is camouflaged very well into the sand around him. A relative of rays and sharks. Oh, look at this. In this tank over here, two big old boys. Got a sheep crab right over there. And he's being pushed around, but it looks like a Bart sand bass. Ooh, another Garibaldi. Look at that. California state fish, a damselfish. We also have a big old California spiny lobster. And honestly, the size of that guy right there, he's well into probably 40s or 50 years old. He's a big boy. A two-spotted octopus. Now they get their name, it's a little hard. This octopus is right there inside the big old conch shell. But you can see they get their name because of those two spots right there near their eyes. And that's because it's a larger eye used for camouflage purposes as well as for protection, because it makes them seem like they're much larger than what they really are. Now, one thing to know is that the color of this octopus, I think sounds like she might be on the tail end of senescence. And senescence, of course, is when octopus start to not eat, they lose their color, and they essentially start to deteriorate slowly but surely, and then eventually they do pass away. Usually occurs after mating or after a couple years, because most octopuses, even GPOs, the largest of all the octopus, they actually don't get past 2, 3, maybe 4 on a really good one if they're taken well care of. But just a couple years is all that octopus live. Now that we're done with the aquarium here, we're going to walk back up to the front turtle lagoon, because I heard there's going to be a surprise animal ambassador that we're going to get to see here at 12:30. So let's go outside here. It's towards the front, so I don't know what to expect. Most likely, I'm going to guess maybe like a turtle of some sort, but who knows?
But the cool thing about rosy boas, or a thing about rosy boas when they eat, is that they are constrictors. So a lot of people ask me, is this a venomous snake? Is this a poisonous snake? It's not venomous, and it's not poisonous because it's not poison to touch. But he's not venomous. Instead, what he does to compress his prey is like give him a super tight hug, squeeze, and make sure that animal is immobile before eating it.
And of course, with all these encounters, we use the scientific 2-finger touch and gently touch going down once and twice, and there it is. Almost 1:30, so we're going to make our way over to the shark and ray, which again we've kind of passed by a little bit earlier, but there's going to be a keeper tuck there, and I believe a feeding, so that should be fun. Again, the types of sharks that are out here, these aren't the man-eater types. They are the ones that are going to eat like the little crabs and crustaceans and small little guys at the bottom dwelling, leopard sharks, horn sharks, things of that nature.
Yes, we are getting a variety of fish. We have squid, shrimp, capelin, some clam tongue in here for them.
Nice. Alrighty, so you're more than welcome to watch our friends eat. You go ahead and listen while you're watching, but let's go ahead and get started. 4 similarities. Both sharks and rays both have a few adaptations that make them similar, but they're actually going to be a little bit different. But let's go ahead and observe the few adaptations that they have that are seen in both of them. So, just to...
As you can see here, now we're on the larger side of the tank. These are going to have some of the bigger guys here. We have some larger rays. We got the leopard sharks here, some round stingray. Oh, even a Garibaldi, the California state fish right over there. And you can see here, they're They're enjoying the pieces of cut up fish and squid and whatnot on the bottom. Oh, look at that. Great view of the bottom portion. You don't really get to see a lot of this because they're bottom dwelling. Leopard sharks grow to about 5-6 feet for some of the really large ones, but they're very timid sharks. You can actually go snorkeling out in La Jolla Cove and La Jolla Shores and see quite a few of them out there during the summer months as they come in for breeding. And there's the horn shark passing by right over there. We saw its eggs earlier. Oh, there's another one right over there. Horn shark, so called because of the horn, or I guess the point at the top of their dorsal fin right over there. They are venomous. Again, they were not fatal to humans, but you definitely don't want to be stepping on one, that's for sure. Yeah, I missed it, but there's a halibut right over there. Look at this big old bat ray right here. How you doing, buddy? That's a big boy. So we got some time left. There's going to be a 2:30 turtle presentation here with Emerald as well too. So we'll have some time to do a few other things before we do that, and I think we'll pretty much be done for our day here. We're going to walk a little bit down this path. So yeah, these offices over here are part of the Fish and Wildlife Service. So these are government buildings. So we really can't go inside there. I think there is a like visitor service or visitor center in the beginning portion right here, but I don't think they're here. I think they're only here during Monday through Friday. You can see here administrative headquarters, but we can take a look here on the back side. They got some signs here talking about the marsh that we are visiting here, San Diego Bay, and the economic as well as environmental impacts that this marsh has here. Oh, here is a good visualization of something that's a really fun fact here. So do you see this basin right over here? That's not nature, that's man-made. That's a concrete basin, concrete reservoir. We are here, the address of the Discovery Center is 1000 Gunpowder Point Drive. Now, you'd be like, okay, so what? Well, that and the address has a connection. So during the years of around World War I, there used to be kelp harvesters that would actually go out into the ocean, into the waters off San Diego and collect kelp. Why? What they would do is that they needed an ingredient called potash. It was an ingredient that was found that they were able to, when they take the kelp, they would go into these large basins like this, dump them out there. The sun would dry them. They would smell like to high heavens. But then they would do some chemical process and create potash, which was an ingredient that was needed for gunpowder. And during the years of World War I, leading up to, I think it was up here until about the 20s or 30s actually, believe it or not, these were used for gunpowder production. Hence, Gunpowder Point, hence why these things are still here. So they're kind of covered now with like sand, like the nature is kind of starting to overtake them a little bit with some dirt and sand and some brush and tumbleweeds and whatnot there. But cool little remnant of history about San Diego that's here. But now this whole area is a naturally protected reserve, hence why we have to park off there. There's no real walking except for on the designated paths for to enjoy nature. But this whole area is protected, governmentally, federally protected, which is really nice. So it gives us an opportunity to really see wildlife up close, respectfully, and not have to worry about encroachment of buildings and other entities that could ruin this type of land. Hopefully we'll have it here for many generations to come. Over here we have the native pollinator garden. As you can guess by the name, we're going to have some plants here that attract some natural pollinators that we talked about earlier, things like little birds, hummingbirds, bees, insects, bats, butterflies, and everything. Let's see if we can maybe find some of them here as we walk through. Of course, stay on the designated paths like you see right here. All the hiking and walking paths here at the center and the surrounding area are all easy walks. There's nothing complicated, as you can see here when I pan through. There's no hills. You don't have to worry about anything high terrain, and everything is, again, you have to stay on the man-made paths. I'm seeing a few butterflies off in the distance. Not really seeing too much here. We are in the probably the hottest part of the day today right now. It's about 2 o'clock, give or take. So, but because even though we're hot, it's it's in about the low 80s right now, because we are right here along the beach, or I should say the water, it's staying relatively cool. We got a nice little marine breeze that's been keeping us relatively nice all this time. Oh, look at that, a beautiful view of Coronado Bay Bridge. as well as downtown San Diego. You got the shipyards right over here, and people enjoying the bay, being launched out of Chula Vista Marina or even downtown area. Unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of pollinators. Saw some bees, saw a butterfly or two floating around, but that's about it. We're gonna walk around some of the trails here. There are lots of trails here if you are someone who enjoys the outdoors. A couple things is make sure to bring plenty of water, bring some snacks if you need to, for, you know, if you have blood sugar, diabetes. I have diabetes, so I always make sure to carry something on me should I need it. And yeah, plenty of water, especially on hot days like this. Again, and comfortable shoes, comfortable shoes, and be cognizant of rattlesnakes in the area. So, and it is a hot day right now, so I mean, they could potentially be out and about. And should you want to have an actual added element of education here, every Saturday at 11:30, they do have trails that are led by some of the staff at the center. And I'm sure they go on the trails like we're doing right now at this moment, and they tell you a little bit about the flora and the fauna that you potentially get to see here on the trail. Beautiful day today. This breeze is really helping. The sun is out shining, no clouds in the sky on a beautiful San Diego day, but thankfully we got that sea breeze coming in and cools us down real nicely. Oh, this is good. A little sign here that talks about, of course, this whole area and the majority of San Diego up to Oceanside, East, and then even to Baja California used to be native land, especially of the local tribe here of the Kumeyaay. So we're talking a little history here, and I'm sure archaeologists have found some stuff here that used to belong to some of the native tribes in this region. But we have to give respect to those who were here before us. Some more of the trails, we're going to start making our way back over there. After the wet, rainy season in San Diego, and then all of this really just flowers and blooms really pretty. Right now we're heading into the winter months, so we're gonna have a lot more of the dry chaparral. Things really not blooming as much. Still beautiful. Oh, a couple birds flying by. There's a cute, good example, a trash art that they have here. It is giant turtle, and inside it's got recyclables, cans and bottles and whatnot, and obviously the metal that was made from is all recyclable. That's pretty cool. I like that. I love it when they do things like this, art out of trash. Take a walk up here to this observation platform here, give you a nice little 360 view of the bay area that we were just looking at. Ah, nice and shaded, which is really nice. But really, you come up here for the views. Really nice. Look at that. Going down, you can really view it all the way down there. You can see the tip of IB going into San Ysidro and possibly even TJ, I think. Clear day, you see the other side of Silver Strands, Coronado, downtown. So pretty. But now we are pretty much almost done. We're just gonna go say hello to Emerald with the little animal presentation that they have of her here at the front. And I think we're gonna call it a day here at the Living Coast Discovery Center. I had a great time, really good. It's been great to be back here after so many years, and it's a fun experience for the whole family, and definitely one I would recommend. I should also mention, just because we're walking through the ramp portion of it, the entire center is ADA compatible. All the areas and which ways have complete ADA accessibility, including the bus getting here. So do not worry about it if you have anybody in your party who may have some mobility issues or whatnot. Definitely have no problems there.
Emerald's actually injured due to a boat strike, but she was originally found in Florida. She was taken in by the Sea Turtle Hospital in Marathon, Florida. But the reason she's here is because she has a crack in her carapace, and she can't release excessive air to have her float, basically submerge down to the water properly. So if you ever see her go into the water, she'll most likely go top down, so head first into the water. How long do sea turtles live? They live like 60 to 80 to 100 years.
Here's an actual shell from a hawksbill turtle. And you can see how the turtle itself, you know, the shell is part of the body. And you can see the spine is right there along it, and its ribs, for lack of a better word, on the shell itself. And as all things do, we're going to end it with a visit to the gift shop to check it all out. See what is being offered over here. Some Living Coast branded items. Water bottles, keychains. Ooh, look at this cool pen. Oh, I love these pens, the ones that have like you flop it down. This one's got a shark. Ooh, this one, I might get this one. Look at this. Got a turtle. Turtle. stickers here. Oh, look, we met some of these people here today. Here's a sticker of Emerald. Oh, Indy, we saw him earlier today too. Sapphire was the old loggerhead that they used to have here, but unfortunately she is no longer here. Oh, look at this. Salsa y Fresca, the two pairs that we saw earlier. Not 100% sure, but there is the turkey vulture. We saw him earlier as well too. Pretty cool. Got some colorful shirts here. Oh, I like this one. I need this one in adult size. All the different types of creatures we saw today, from horn sharks to turtles to octopus to Garibaldi. I like that. Got some magnets here as well too. A good old magnet. Oh, look at that. Turtles popping out of a shell. Shark. The rainbow trout. Oh, Roadrunner. We saw him. The eagle. Betsy Ross. Of course, we're going to have some stuffed animals here. Oh, look at this. Hey, they don't have it here. But this is a little stuffy of a lump sucker. Love these little cute guys. Some of them we saw here. We've got the great horned owl. Of course, we saw Betsy Ross earlier. Of course, for all us 90s kids, millennials, who remembers having these, the little sandbaggy creatures. I had a snake, I know that. But I'm pretty sure I had a lizard at one point. You know, these little silky polyester filled with sand creatures. Some books as well too, if you need a good gift idea. Saw some stuff here. They have a lot of stuff that's like, this one was pretty cool I saw earlier. A pencil in which you use the pencil, but then at the very tip of it has a little seed ball. So you can plant the tip of the pencil at the end when you're done using it and watch some flowers grow. I love stuff like that. The crappiest gift of all is a coprolite, fossilized poop. And when I say crappy, I mean one of the best things ever. And this one in specific is a very old turtle poop, like millions of years old, according to the card. And with that, we're gonna call it a day here at the Living Coast Discovery Center. Had a great time, hope you did as well too, watching the video. It's been a couple years since I've been here, so it was good to be back, checking it all out. Had a great time, getting to see all the different feedings. Met some cool friends, including the chuckwalla Indy, such a cute guy. And overall had a wonderful time, so definitely a good place to come visit if you have an opportunity here. If you are local to San Diego, great, come here on a weekend, fun time. Prices are great, the family's gonna have a great time. And you know, it's a good time to spend about 2 to 3 hours worth. Fun for the whole family of all ages. So, and just literally 10 minutes south of downtown San Diego here in Chula Vista. Easy to get to, so highly recommend this gem of a spot here in San Diego. So if you enjoyed this video, do me the biggest of favor, give it a big thumbs up for it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, you haven't done so already. And third, hit the notification bell. Share it with others as well too. Let them know about the channel, let them know about the good things, that all the journeys that we get to go on together, having a fun time here. And then take it one step further and follow me on social media at Big Red Journeys on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram for even more content. So for me to you, thank you, and I'll see you on the next journey. Bye-bye now.